Week 8 Fab Waiver Wire Show here with my boy Joe Carlton. I'm Steve D'Angelo at Fantasy Savvy. Back for another Fab Waiver Wire Show. Ernie having some internet issues. Will having computer issues. I don't know what the hell is going on. So Joe's been filling in the past couple of weeks. Did a great job last week. Back again. What's going on, Joe?
Same shit as last week. Just finished my show, and now I'm here on your show, helping you out. Well-oiled. I just did an hour, so I think I'm ready to go. Let's hit some waivers, baby.
All right, yeah, we see your questions in the chat. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, sharing, hit that notification button, follow us on X. You see our handles there at Fantasy Savvy and Points by Hand Carlton. Face Off Sports Network, once again, honoring Anthony Servino with every one of these shows. So we'll get into it. A lot to get into. Some interesting names here on the wire. Ernie's boy, Arande Gadsden, leads the charge. Too bad he didn't get to, gleam over him a little bit. But here we go. Face Off Sports Network. Like, subscribe, share. Let's go. All right. Well, we got KJ in the chat. He says, what's up, guys? Should I drop Hendo for Kyle Monangai or Bashard Smith full PPR? I would not do it for Monangai. Still not a Monangai guy, even though he had a good game last week. But Bashard Smith's interesting. That's something I would actually consider at this point. Who the hell is this guy that got carries for the freaking Patriots this week over Henderson, Joe?
Jennings?
Yeah. I don't even know who the hell this guy is. Fucking getting carries. What's going on over here, bro?
I don't know. Trevion Henderson might be dead. Might be officially dead. I don't know. I don't know if we could stash him all that much longer, especially if we're in a short bench league. I mean, if you have a deep bench, obviously hang on to him. But I like Brashad Smith here. I like Monangai too, but I really like what I seen out of Brashad Smith this past weekend. He had 4 receptions in the first quarter before the game got out of hand. He ended up finishing the game with 5 receptions for 42 yards, I believe. He got some carries in garbage time. He was worked in. So one thing I noticed is Andy Reid. He hasn't committed to neither Kareem Hunt or Isaiah Pacheco. He uses Kareem Hunt around the goal line, and he uses Pacheco for some early down work, and he doesn't use either one of them in the passing game, at least design passes anyways. And Brashad Smith can do both. He can handle both roles. I think he's going to become a thing as the season goes on. I think he carves out an even bigger role. I think they eventually go away from Kareem Hunt. I can't say they'll go away from Pacheco, but I think Kareem Hunt will be limited to strictly goal line work, like one from the 1 or the 2 yard line. And I'd like to say that we're going to see Brashad Smith eventually work into that role as well. I think him and Pacheco, between the two of them, can maybe figure that out. This offense is rolling. Kansas City high-powered offense. They got Rashee Rice back. Xavier Worthy's finally healthy. Travis Kelce's healthier than the past 2 years. They've been managing his reps well and giving him high-quality targets, keeping him out of high-traffic areas. And I think Brashad Smith is somebody that you want to stash and you could possibly flex in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, 100% agreed. This is a guy that should have been drafted if your roster was deep enough. This is what Andy Reid does. He slowly builds these guys in, and Brashard Smith has looked the part every time he's been out there, breaking tackles, making nice catches. He looks very, very talented. Hunt is, he's decent. Pacheco, he's a 7th-round pick as well. So Brashard Smith gives him that Jerick McKinnon. We've been talking about him on this, this show for weeks and weeks and weeks. And Joe and I drafted him in a bunch of leagues as well. So, yeah, Brashard Smith, be patient. Adam, the question is, do you want to fully give up on Henderson? I mean, Henderson's not giving you anything right now. I mean, he's getting played over by this random dude that came out of nowhere. So, I mean, if you need to get some wins, if you're looking for some upside, why not take a chance on Brashard Smith at this point? I mean, ideally, you'd like to hold Henderson. Hopefully, he gets some bigger role. But I don't know. I don't know when the hell it's going to happen. So It's unfortunate. I didn't really draft Henderson that much. I kind of got him in a couple spots, and the couple spots where I have him, my teams are not doing good. So yeah, it's been a rough ride for sure.
I mean, we've seen Vrabel do it a little bit with Derrick Henry in his rookie year when he split time with Dion Lewis, and it wasn't until the later part of that of his rookie season where he started getting really involved. So
yeah, but Henry was like 3 years in the league at that point because he was behind DeMarco Murray for a couple of years, and that was understandable. But Dion Lewis, I mean, come on, what
it's what Vrabel does, man. You have to be able to do more than just make a big play to get on the field with Mike Vrabel.
Yeah. And then Henry, I think Artie Smith, I think was the coordinator. And then, Henry slowly got burnt in and finally showed what he could do and just blew up. I think it was his third season where Henry just kind of started to go a little bit nuts, or maybe his fourth year. We kind of showed the flashes. But anyway, good point by Joe there. All right, KJ Fredericks also said, should I drop Juwan Jennings or Seattle defense, have Atlanta defense for Josh Downs, Tez Johnson, Alec Pierce, or Oronde Gadsden? Full PPR.
Jennings, Seattle defense.
Drop the Seattle defense.
Yeah.
One of the defenses and add somebody. Who do you like the best? There's some good names there all around.
If you need the tight end, I would say Gadsden, but otherwise, I think I like Alec Pierce over Josh Downs. Josh Downs only on the field between 50 to 65% of the snaps. He's used primarily in the slot, makes him an inconsistent player. You don't know when to start him. You know what I mean. Yeah. He's gonna be giving you those 5 to 7 point weeks, and then every now and then you'll get a boom week, and it's really not even that high of a ceiling. It's like an 18, 19 point ceiling, in my opinion. Alec Pierce, what do you have? 4 or 5 catches this past week. So
yeah, caught a couple bombs. I caught the first half of that game. I missed the second half, but yeah, he's a good player for sure.
I actually like Tez Johnson over Josh Downs going forward. He showed flashes the last couple of weeks. He looks pretty good. Mike Evans, we know, is going to be out until at least towards the end of the season. Maybe he's back for the playoffs, but I think his fantasy season is done. I don't think you should be. I don't think you should be hanging on. Wasting a bench spot. I mean, if you have an IR spot, more than one IR spot, you could throw them in there. But even if you only have one IR spot, I'd consider dropping Evans at this point. But Tez looks pretty good. I think he'll be fantasy relevant till at least Chris Godwin comes back. Still got Jalen McMillan. Also slated to come back in the next couple of weeks. So, I mean, if you need immediate production, I like Alec Pierce and Tez here. If you need a tight end, go Gadsden. I'm avoiding Downs. I'm leaving Downs on the free agent list.
Yeah, I'm with you there, too. I do like Tez Johnson. I mean, I liked him a little bit. And then, I added him some spots, and he really has been showing a lot. I mean, talent-wise. I mean, this guy was a highly productive player at Oregon, fell in the draft, I think 7th round, probably because of his size, I guess. But he's similar, he's like a Tank Dell. Like, he's got the same frame, burner. He's an athletic freak. So, I mean, he's interesting. I think I do prefer Alec Pierce overall as a receiver too, but Tez is pretty close. And then, like Joe said, I'm going Gadsden as well if you need a tight end. We got another question on Gadsden here. Where do you see Gadsden ranking as tight end from here on out? From SWL Bo. Got a lot of fab to spend.
It depends. If you need him to go directly into your lineup, then spend the fab on him. I have a little bit of worry about him just because of the amount of mouths to feed there. We know that Quentin Johnston was his first game back from injury this past week. So, he only had 2 catches. He did get in the end zone. He didn't have the usual volume that we're used to seeing from Quentin Johnston. I think that could maybe see an uptick. Keenan Allen seems to be a target hog. He had a couple of down weeks, but he went right back to 11 receptions. Lad's gonna, Lad and Keenan Allen are the chain movers. Quentin Johnson's the big threat, and they did have Herbert had a shit ton of passing attempts this past week. So
he threw the ball a million times. Yeah.
You got to take that into account. You kind of knew that was going to be the case. Indianapolis is a brick wall for a run defense, and they don't have Amari Anthony, they have Kamani Vidal, so they are going to lean on the pass more often than not until Hampton comes back. But Hampton's eventually going to come back, so I worry about the amount of volume that the pecking order for Arande gets, and he's going to be inconsistent. Obviously, if you need a tight end to start, if he's an upgrade at the tight end position, then spend the fab on him. But
do you think he's a top? You think he's a top 10 tight end the rest of the way?
I think he's a top 10 tight end for maybe the next couple of weeks. But I did read something today that the Chargers have the third toughest schedule going forward against the tight end position. So that's something to note as well. I would say he's probably like tight end. I would maybe rank him. I don't do rankings, but if I did, like maybe 10 tight end 12. I don't know if I see him as a top 10 consistent going forward.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as I say, he'll give you some top 10 weeks, but he's going to come with some inconsistency.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys you could throw in there. I mean, you got Ertz, you got Henry, you got Andrews if he comes up, Ingram, Hawkinson, Fannin, Taylor, Pitts. So yeah, it's tough. I could see him finishing as a tight end 1 the rest of the way though, 100%. But it is a little bit crowded there if all the receivers are healthy. But their defense looks like absolute shit. I mean, if they're going to have to throw that much, and Herbert is going to slang, Hampton might be out for another month or so. Vidal's not going to get it done. They're bringing in Nyheim Hines this week because Haskins is hurt. So, he's not really a grinder either. Obviously, he's a receiving back. So, yeah, I mean, I like it. If you need a tight end, drop the fab. I mean, he's probably going to be one of the best pickups at tight end the rest of the way. The rest of them will probably snatched up. The problem is like, I've added and dropped Gatson like 97 times on like 50 different teams already this year because there's so many different good tight ends that pop up like Fannin and Taylor and Taysom Hill. I'm chasing. People are dropping tight ends. I'm picking up guys so he's good 1 week. He's bad 1 week. So you don't really know how consistent he's going to be. Joe made it some good points about their schedule, the lack of having to pass a million times, but I think the talent's obviously there. Herbert's a good quality quarterback who get him the ball. He was their leading receiver this past week. So if you need the help, you could drop a decent amount. We're getting, we're getting closer and closer. You got to start spending that fab anyway. All right. Next question by Jared. Evening, gentlemen. PPR better waiver. Why are Godwin, Mooney, or Jennings? Interesting. Jennings banged up left and right, still playing with like 4 broken ribs, an ankle, a shoulder injury. I don't know how healthy he's going to get. Ayuk's going to come back at some point. Godwin now with no Evans. That's interesting, but he has his own injury issues. Mooney has his own injury issues too. He can never stay healthy. So which one of these often injured guys are you going after here?
I like Godwin most long-term. If you need somebody now, obviously it's got to be Mooney or Jennings. But if you're talking about a stash here, I'm going Chris Godwin. I thought they brought him back too early this year, and it was out of necessity. Of course, they forced him back because Mike Evans was out. So, yeah, Godwin's a better stash. I think if they take their time bringing him back, and then eventually Jalen McMillan will be back, Bucky Irvin comes back. It's just a better offense. Tampa Bay's a better offense all around. Godwin is probably the most consistent player out of these 3, and he's if we're talking about a stash, I'm going Godwin.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there too. They're all injured. Godwin's going to have the best opportunity now with Evans out. Jalen McMillan, he's still wearing a neck brace. I like him as a player too, but who knows when he's coming back. I would stash Godwin there. I'm with Joe on that one. All All right. Jared says not waiver, but curious thoughts on Vidal this week. No Haskins, Vidal or Mason. Jones back. We don't know if Jones is definitely coming back. It's a short week. They just opened the window. So I still go Mason here over Vidal. What do you think, Joe?
I got to see who's Vidal play. Who the Chargers got this week?
Chargers got bang. They have Minnesota Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm leaning Jordan Mason here.
They're playing each other.
Yeah, is Aaron Jones definitely back?
I saw they opened up his window. They still
Right.
have to bring him back. It's not definite yet. We'll see. It's a short week,
Yeah,
but they get the long rest too, so maybe we'll see.
I still think that they lean on Mason this week.
Yeah,
even with Jones coming back, and yeah, I'm not sold on Vidal. I thought Barkley was going to have a nice week against Minnesota this past week, and he ended up not even going over. I think he had 60 yards, maybe. Yeah, he didn't do anything because Jalen Hurts threw the ball all over the place. So, which was good to see. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, AJ Brown finally having a nice game. Yeah,
but yeah, Jordan. Yeah, I'm leaning Jordan Mason here. I still think they use him.
All right, Z Smitty says rest of the season. Who would you rather have? Dart or Herbert? This is an interesting one. Dart continues to get it done. I mean,
that's a tough one.
Tough matchup against the Broncos. Guy puts up 29 points again. I think I don't know. I mean, Herbert's weapons are much better. Herbert's much more proven in this league, but Dart looks like a fantasy, big time fantasy asset in his rookie year.
I would actually hang on to. I would choose if I'm going single quarterback and it's a matter of. I'm cutting the other one. I don't know if you're cutting the other one. I would pick Herbert just because Dart, he gets a little reckless sometimes. So I worry about him staying healthy. I think Herbert's a better bet to be there week in and week out more consistently. I love Dart's floor. Don't get me wrong. And I just I think it's only a matter of time before defenses catch up with him and kind of start to slowly contain what he's been doing. Not to take anything away from Jackson Dart. I fell in love with the kids play. I think he's got all the right stuff. He's excellent in the pocket. He's got a rushing upside. Herbert, he doesn't have the weapons that Herbert have. He's making things work with that shitty, I don't want to say shitty Giants offense, but it's, you don't have Malik Neighbors there. Scatterboo also plays like an animal. What happens if Scatterboo was to miss time at some point? I don't like to predict injury, but I'm just accounting for injury. Like they're leaning, Dart and Scatterboo are being leaned on like beasts right now, and how long is that going to last is my concern here. So I think Herbert's definitely a safer choice rest of the season.
Yeah, playoff schedules for the Giants is Washington, Minnesota, Vegas, and the Chargers get KC, Dallas, and Houston. So a little bit tougher for Herbert there. You can make a case for Dart's schedule being a little bit lighter. But, you still got Minnesota. Washington's not bad defense. Obviously, the Raiders stink. But, I'm kind of with you there. I mean, obviously, Herbert's, he's proven it more. The defenses could kind of start to figure it out, stop his running game a little bit more. Could get hurt as well. He's been a little bit reckless, like Joe mentioned. They don't have a ton of weapons. So, yeah, I don't mind that call either. But, try to hold both of them. Try to hold both of them if you can.
Yeah.
Why would you want to cut one of these talented quarterbacks? Try to hold both if you can.
Yeah. I agree with that. And Dallas Chargers, that sounds like a shootout in the making, baby.
Yeah.
I think Herbert's playoff schedule is not that bad. Fantasy friendly.
It's just the Chiefs and what was the other matchup I said? I had this schedule up. We got a million tabs. All right, one more question. Coker or Mooney rest of the year? I'm going I think I'm going to go Mooney there.
Yeah, I'm not confident in Mooney being there the rest of the season, but
exactly.
if it doesn't work out, you can grab Coker back before if he's still there. But yeah, I lean Mooney here.
Yeah, Chargers by the way, they get Casey in Houston, but Dallas in the semis if you get there. All right. Yes, I think we. Says, do we know the earliest Evans can return? I think he's done, man. I mean, like Joe said, maybe the actual NFL playoffs. I don't think he's coming back for the fantasy playoffs. Collarbone, that's going to keep him out at least 2.5 more months. I mean, maybe he can come back for the fantasy Super Bowl, but
it's usually 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah. All right, Debbie. What's up, Debbie? Haven't heard from you in a while. What's up, guys? Need a QB fill-in for Daniels, Dart, and Prescott available on waivers. Who do you want more? Some very good options there, Debbie. Dallas gets, let's see, week 8. Dallas gets Denver this week.
At Denver, too.
Yeah.
And the Giants have
Philly.
Same thing at Philly. Both tough matchups.
Got to go Dak probably, right?
No, I think I'm actually leaning Jackson Dot here. Just because I think Philly can score in bunches more than, well, I shouldn't say that. Denver just put up 33 points in the friggin' fourth quarter of that game. So, by the way, you knew there was no way they were going to lose that game with the Demaryius Thomas thing. It's just these things happen. It's just like these things are destiny sometimes. And the Giants are like the perfect team to ruin their parade. But go ahead. I don't know. I guess I don't think you can go. I think they're going to be, their results are going to be similar either way. Dak or. I
mean, you got 2 good options out there. So what other options are out there, Debbie? You must have some really good options there. If Dak and freaking Dart are available, you might have some other good options as well with some better matchups. But obviously, you like picking up those guys the rest of the year as well. Go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers got a revenge game against Green Bay.
Yeah.
On Sunday night.
You feel good about Rodgers in that matchup?
I don't know. I think I do. But I don't know. I don't know.
He's playing good ball. I mean, the last couple of weeks he's been on fire. And he's going to be giddy up for this one for sure. So yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Give us the other options if you have a few. Bob Hope says Pitts, Fannin, PPR, also Casey or Falcons. Should I drop Algier for Dobbs? Thanks.
I'll definitely go with the Falcons D. They're playing Miami this week, and they just lost Waller. Like they're literally down to Malik Washington and A-Chain.
Is Waller out for a while?
I don't think he's going to be
back this week.
Back this week, yeah.
Jeez. That's a good matchup, though. You're right. Atlanta against Miami.
And Kansas City's got Washington and
Mariota. Yeah.
Mariota is a decent matchup too. Yeah. But Debo and McLaurin are slated to practice this week and be back.
And Mariota's been pretty decent in Washington.
He hasn't been terrible. Yeah, he hasn't been terrible. Been solid. Yeah. And then what's the other one? Pitts and Fannin.
Fannin and Pitts. Cleveland gets
the Patriots, which they have given up points to tight ends, with the exception of last week. I think the new Tennessee head coach went away from Chig, and DK was the beneficiary. Yeah. Well, Gunnar Helm had it, but DK was like the
DK. Yeah, caught that one big bomb. Yeah,
he took the four receptions that we anticipated Chig getting. And Chig was kind of phased out of the offensive game plan. So, but I've watched all the Patriots games this year. They basically they give you the tight end. They try to take away everything else. I definitely lean Fannin here, especially with Njoku's still out.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts
better weather game too. That was a shitty weather game for Cleveland.
Kyle Pitts has been good, but I think that where they get the Miami defense this week, and it's at home in Atlanta, I think it's going to be a bounce back week for Drake London and Bijan more than Pitts.
It looks like Cousins this week too, right? It's going to be close.
Yeah, I'm actually excited. I'm kind of rooting to see Kirk Cousins this week.
Yeah, me too. All right, do you want him to drop Algier for Dobbs?
PPR. Oh, should I drop Algier for Dobbs? I guess if you need the wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not a Bijan owner, I don't mind doing that either. Picking up Dobbs, pretty, he'll give you some good games. Don't expect a ton. Try to keep the questions mostly waiver based though, instead of lineup questions. We're gonna have start sit shows the rest of the week. We'll get to your questions, but try to keep them waiver related if you can, guys. Z Smitty says Dart or Knicks rest of the season.
Oof. I'm gonna say Bo Nix. He should. He's been off and on this year, but he's again. I believe in this Denver offense going forward. They, when they decide that they want to score points, and it's happened three different times this year. They waited until the fourth quarter to have outburst and win the game. So I don't know what Sean Payton's doing over there. He's experimenting for the first half, and then he figures, he finally figures out what's going to work in the second half, and then he goes to it. But I think that the fact that they let Bo Nix be Bo Nix in the second half, I think it's necessary they let him run. And I think they are going to lean towards letting him run more often. RJ Harvey's not showing any signs of that he can, produce consistently at the NFL level. J.K. Dobbins, again, they've been limiting him to like 10 to 14, 15 carries at most. He hasn't gone over 15 carries, I don't think, except for that one game where they built up the lead. And then
if they get a good game script, they'll use him much more often. Yeah.
I think Bo Nix has rushing upside as well. And he's got better weapons, more consistent offense. They're a winning team. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They're going, they're playing for a playoff spot. It's just a more consistent structure for Knicks. So yeah, I think I'm going Knicks over that rest of the season.
Yeah, Knicks gets Green Bay and Kansas City and Jacksonville in the fantasy playoffs. Dart gets Washington, Minnesota, Vegas. To me, it's a 50-50 thing there. I think I'd be happy with either one. Again, if you have both of them, try to keep them both. Ugazi says pick up Manungai or Aaron Jones. I'm going Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Aaron Jones. Manungai does look good. I will say that, and I do think that the Bears are trending towards using 2 running backs consistently and keeping Caleb Williams' pass attempts down to right around 30 or under 30, because when he gets up closer to 35, 40, mistakes happen and the Bears lose games. So it's close, but I think Aaron Jones could be a late season hammer if they can get him going.
Yeah, no, Ben Johnson definitely wants to run the ball. Obviously, he comes from a 2 running back system. I don't think Monangai is that talented, but if they're going to run block well and they want to commit to the run, I agree. They definitely want to limit Caleb's passing attempts. He's still showing a lot of inaccuracies. And the matchups aren't too bad. I mean, Baltimore this week seems kind of rough. I feel like Baltimore is going to be hungry as shit. I can see them getting down. But Cincinnati, Giants, Minnesota's not bad. Pittsburgh, Philly's not great. Green Bay's not great. Cleveland's a nice one in the semis, and then they get Green Bay. Get Green Bay twice in the playoffs. But yeah, still go with Aaron Jones there. And how much money would you spend, would you spend on Manungai here, Joe?
From
Dustin Wells.
Right. So, I mean, if he's going directly into my lineup, I'm probably spending up to get him. If you're just adding him as a stash or a speculative add or a depth piece, maybe a little bit less. I would still put in for him because he's easily the best running back available on waivers right now, especially in deeper leagues. I don't know, maybe maybe around 15%. If 15 to 20% if I need him in my lineup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know about him this week though. Like against Baltimore. Again, he's had one good game all year, so I don't know.
Yeah, but Baltimore is depleted up the middle, and that's where
but they're coming off a bye. They're 1-5. They're going to be. Is
Lamar back? Is Lamar back?
I think Lamar is back. They're going to get some defensive guys back.
So if Lamar is back, that's going to hurt the chances of Chicago building a lead because I think Lamar will obviously get that offense back in gear. So I think the game script could hurt them if Lamar is back.
I think Lamar is going to play. I mean,
maybe you don't start him. Maybe you shouldn't spend up.
But if Lamar is out, Cooper Rush is starting again for some reason. If we hear, I know that the waivers is tonight. You could take a chance on him, and then he becomes a good start because, that's going to be a close game, and the Bears are going to be able to run the ball. So,
right.
It all depends on Lamar. I would think that he's going to try to get his ass back. They're 1-5. They just saw this, the Bengals beat the Steelers. This is their freaking chance to make a move in the division. So I would expect them to go out there and just throw the ball, maybe not move a lot, if anything. I don't know. Al, our boy, says, sup. Seba Supreme says Monungai over Woody Marks.
I'm going to say no to that. Just because I think that DeAndre Swift is a much more prominent running back than Nick Chubb. I think Woody Marks has a better chance of cutting into Nick Chubb long term and maybe even taking the majority of the shit if he can get established in the second half down the stretch in his rookie year. And Houston's got Nico Collins banged up, and I kind of feel like the wheels are about to fall off for Houston. I'm not gonna lie, their defense is still pretty good, but I just
their matchups aren't great either.
The game script is gonna Woody Marks is the play from behind running back. And Monungai is gonna be positive game scripts, not necessarily a big ceiling. We've already seen Woody Marks give us a 27-pointer, so I don't think you're going to get a 27-pointer out of Monungai.
Yeah, I agree. I'd rather have Woody Marks as well. I mean, Seattle's defense was healthier this week. They made the freaking Houston offense look like shit, but this has been Houston's problem. They can't block. Stroud's been, he's regressed a little bit. And then they lose Nico. Their defenses are starting to shut down Nico too, taking away that dig route. Then they play San Francisco, Denver. Jacksonville's defense is better this year. Tennessee's an easy game, but Buffalo, Indy, KC. The fantasy playoffs aren't bad. Arizona, Vegas, Chargers. But they're going to be in good bad game scripts. Or Woody Marks over Monungai. I like that as better as well. Jared says, do you think Brees gets traded? We're stashing Isaiah Davis. Who knows what the hell with the Jets right now? Anything is absolutely possible. They're the biggest disgrace of an organization. And Woody Johnson. I can't. I may make a video just talking about the Jets at some point. I have so many thoughts. But yeah, I mean, stash Isaiah Davis. Why not? If you have the room.
I will say this: if he does get traded, I don't think it's going to be the Chiefs, and I know that's the biggest rumor out there. One of the 2 or 3 teams that they're talking about his possibility of going to. I don't think it's going to be the Chiefs.
When is the actual trade deadline now? Is it week?
Is it?
10?
Thought it was week 9, but I don't know.
Yeah, I remember back in the day it was like week 6, and they moved it back.
Yeah.
Right? Was it week 9 now? Tootsie Pop says, "Hey friends, what's up, man?"
That's Rachel. That was my guest from tonight. That's
Rachel.
Okay,
nice to see you, Rachel. Glad to have you on. FF Mediator says, "Let's give the fellas a thumbs up. Appreciate that, fellas." Jason Ortiz says, "Should I drop a Ayuk, Fannin? I got Tyler Warren and Aya Manor for Tez Johnson, Spears, Monungai, Bashard Smith." how many guys you dropping there? 3, 2?
Ayuk, Fannin. Ayuk or Fannin?
I would drop Aya Manor for Bashard Smith. That's the one thing I would definitely do. And then I don't know. Are you holding on to Ayuk and chasing after Tez Johnson?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Ayuk. I was never really an Ayuk truther, but where San Francisco's just been dealing with injuries all over the place in their passing room. But I mean, Kittle is working his way back. Pearsall is supposed to be back this week too, right?
I don't know. Maybe, yeah. I haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, as there was there's a possibility of him and Purdy being back this week, but nothing official yet.
If you're a losing team, you got to move off Ayuk and go grab some talent.
Yes,
try to get some wins.
That's a very good point, Steve. I like that.
Yeah. Jason Ortiz says, should I drop Nick Chubb? Cup for everybody keeps calling him Trez. Oh, that was Jason twice. My bad. It's Tez, Mooney, Coleman, Monungai, Bashard Smith. I mean, Cup's killing you too. He's not doing anything. He's just, what is he going to really do for you? You could definitely move off of him at this point. I would go after Tez too. But you got Coleman out there. You got Bashard Smith. Which two guys are you going for instead of Chubb and Cup there?
If I need wins immediately, now I'm taking Tez and I'm dropping Cup, and I'm picking up Rashad Smith anywhere I can if he's available. Definitely over Nick Chubb.
You like Tez Johnson over Keon Coleman?
On the short term, yeah. On the short term, if it's for 1 week, yeah. Who's Buffalo?
Yeah.
Buffalo's got Carolina. That's a good matchup.
It's hard. It's hard with Coleman though because they spread it around so much. So it's like, and he's not the talent that they expected him to be really either. So maybe things change out of the bye a little bit, but I doubt it. I know Palmer's a little bit banged up, but they spread it around so much. They want to run the football. I think it's going to be much more concentrated to Tez, so I don't mind going for Tez as well.
Tez, and then play it week by week after that with Tez, and then I would definitely drop Chubb for Brashad Smith.
Yeah, because Godwin comes back at some point. That's going to hurt Tez's value. Halal Saab says, do I place Fab on Gatson? If so, how much? I have Pitts, Hawk, and Engram right now. And if I pick up Gatson, who do I drop from those three? From Tuen or Mooney?
I mean, if you're not starting Mooney at all ever, I would drop Mooney, and I would still hang on to those tight ends because I mentioned my concerns about Gadsden earlier. I think that it's going to be there's a lot of mouths to feed there. There's a lot of targets to go, a lot of wide receivers. You got McConkey, you got QJ, you got Keenan Allen. Hampton won't be. Hampton's still out for another few weeks, but it's tough. I think he comes with some inconsistency. You got a couple of, I think Engram's trending in the right direction. I think Pitts looks pretty good, but it's hard to determine when you're going to start him. You got three viable tight ends there, so I wouldn't go nuts on the fab on Gadsden. It's because it would be different if there wasn't so much in the pecking order there for the Chargers. But earlier in the year, Gadsden had a big game, and then I plugged him in my lineup. I was like, yes, because I've been a Gadsden guy. He's finally getting his chance. I plugged him in the lineup, and then he didn't. He had one target that week. So, and it's tough to pick out which game, when that's going to happen. So it can happen at any point. Just keep that in mind with Gadsden. He could give you a not a donut, but a dud game if you're committing to him. And you got startable tight ends there in Engram and stuff. So, I mean, I definitely think he's worth adding over Mooney. So I would drop Mooney to add him. But then you're going to have a decision to make, every week. So
I mean, I have so many teams where I have 3-4 tight ends. I can't ever remember a year where I've stashed so many tight ends because there's so many. They all have potential, like breakout potential. So it's like I'm just stashing. So it's like, do you really want to carry 4 tight ends? Maybe you need the receiver and Mooney. I don't know. But yeah, I think Gatson going forward, I'd much rather have rest of the year. But it's like, what does your team really need? So it's like it's a freaking tough decision. But yeah, I mean, if you have the luxury of having nice receivers, I would stash Gatson and keep him away from the rest of your league.
Or if you need a wide receiver, maybe you can pick up Gadsden and then package 1 or 2 of your tight ends, or send if there's trade some of those tight ends.
Could do that as well. He also has another question: should I drop Mixon? Evans might be back for the fantasy playoffs week 15-17. Henry got Ertz for Tracy, Manungai, Bashard. Yeah, get rid of Evans and Mixon. Forget about those 2. Pick up Rashard Smith and Tez right now. Right?
Yeah. If you really need running backs, go with pick 2 out of the 3 running backs, but make sure Rashad Smith is one of them.
Debbie says other available quarterbacks: Caleb, Love, and Flacco. Shows are awesome. Appreciate that, Debbie.
I'm down on Caleb rest of the season. I expressed my concerns with him not getting over 30 passing attempts, and I think that's by choice by the coach. They're working in 2 running backs. They're going to keep his passes short and simple. I think it affects Dunze and DJ Moore going forward. So yeah, definitely not too keen with Caleb Williams. So it was basic. What was it? Dak and Jackson Dart, right?
Go with Dak or Dart there.
Yeah.
Debbie.
Although, who's Flacco got this week?
The Jets. Revenge game for Flacco. Flacco's got a revenge game on almost every team, though.
It sounds like she can stream a quarterback week in and week out. So I don't know. I might go.
Jets D is actually playing better, but they're not. They haven't gone against a team like with Higgins and freaking
Chase. Yeah.
So that game could get ugly, especially if their offense is not doing anything. Flacco may have a million opportunities. So
Flacco is interesting if you're streaming week to week.
All right. 3P 1C fail says best quarterback pickup for Superflex: Tyrod, Dylan Gabriel, Andy Dalton, or Mariota. I think I don't really like Mariota's matchup this week so much, but I mean, he's been the most capable. He's looked good in this system. So from that standpoint, I think I would go Mariota in a Superflex. What do you think, Joe?
I agree, especially if Kansas City is playing with the lead. That means Mariota is going to have to be throwing the ball and making things happen with his legs, extending plays, trying to get first downs. I think I lean Mariota here.
Cleveland gets New England. That's not really a great matchup.
No, they're gonna eat Gabe. They're gonna
New England's defensive. New England's defensive matchups are just.
They're gonna gobble him up this week.
Dude, the playoffs aren't great for New England. The Super Bowl is, though. They get the Jets and the fans. But, I mean, they've had a great run here being a fantasy defense. So I think we'd go. What about Andy Dalton, though? He's got a
garbage point matchup against Buffalo.
Yeah, that's true. He might not be terrible, actually. I would say it's probably him or Mariota I'd go with.
And I talked about this on my show earlier. I don't think Andy Dalton is much of a downgrade from Bryce Young. I don't think it affects Ted McMillan.
For fantasy, no.
Yeah, no.
But long term, I'd rather have Mariota. Jaden Dales may be out a couple weeks. At any point they could go back to Bryce Young. What's the deal with Bryce Young? He's going to be out a couple weeks too.
Let me see real quick.
Shout out to Miller Trick Shots.
He does have an ankle injury.
Trade deadline is November 4th at 4 p.m. 2025. Appreciate that, brother. 3PC, 1 fail. 1C fail says, would you drop Spears or Harvey for Brashard Smith or Manungai in PPR?
Spears or Harvey for Brashard Smith or Manungai. I think I would drop
Spears.
Yeah, and it would be for Brashad Smith.
Yeah.
Brashad Smith first, then Monangai second.
Yeah. I'm with you there as well.
Brashad Smith has a chance to become the top running back option for Kansas City. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I mean, remember in the Super Bowl, the last couple of years, when they were in the Super Bowl, Jerick McKinnon was like featured,
He was,
in
yeah,
those games.
he was a beast down the stretch, and
Yeah,
then I think the running back before that was Damian Williams, right?
Damian Williams had that one really good year. Yep.
Down the stretch, he played like a similar role.
Yeah. Halal says she also has Burden. Yeah, so you could cut Burden too, but Burden has a little bit more upside, I guess, the rest of the year than Mooney. So it's close between Mooney and Burden there. Lightning McQueen says, "Do I drop Kincaid for Gatson?" No, I'm not doing that. Kincaid's having a breakout season. He didn't play the last game, but he's been Allen's favorite target this year. I'd much rather hold on to Kincaid there.
Agree.
Dodrick PP says, "Would you pick up Wandale Robinson or Tez Johnson for the bye week of St. Brown?" Going Wandale there, I think.
Yeah, I think Wandale gives you a better floor. Tez gives you a higher ceiling, but I think Wandale's definitely safer for sure.
Yeah, and you get to get him the rest of the year. Our boy Josh reposted this stream. We got to do a betting show with this guy at one point. This guy makes some really good picks. He always had some crazy, interesting takes too, and conspiracy theories. The Smitty says, "Would you trade for Jalen Coker?" I mean, he had a donut this week, but I still like his potential going forward.
I mean, how do you feel about Leggett?
I mean, I don't know what to expect with Leggett.
I know it's like a revolving door. It's like that number 2 wide receiver spot is a revolving door any way you look at it. So
yeah, I don't think you have to trade for Jalen Coker. I mean, if you get him for nothing, basically, why not? But Chase Hunter says, "Would you trade Jacobs for Dunze and Derrick Henry?"
I would do that.
Yeah, Henry's going to get better here down the stretch. Lamar is going to come back at some point. Jacobs is very nice to have. Obviously, I would say he's probably the best player in the trade right now, but Henry could definitely surpass him at some point. And then Dunze should get a little bit better down the stretch here. I know he's been struggling the past couple games. Which tight end should I keep? And Schultz or Loveland? Which 2 tight ends should I keep here?
Ooh, this is kind of tough because
I would say Otten and Loveland.
Dalton Schultz is nice this next week though with Nico Collins out here. I mean, would he end up with 9 receptions, right? This past week,
had a good game
yesterday or last night, yeah. Cade Otton is also going to be highly involved with Mike Evans out. And Loveland, Cole Kmet's injured his back. We don't know when he's going to be back, but I think Colston Loveland is going to be a thing before Luther Burden. So, yeah, I think I'm going to say, I don't know. I really like Schultz too. This is a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, I think Otten for the, I don't know. It is a tough question, actually.
I think I'm going to go Otten and Schultz, and the reason being
I'm good with that.
Is because Schultz could be the number 2 target on that team for a couple of weeks at least.
Yeah, and Schultz has been good in the past. He just
Loveland's more of a stash, wait and see approach.
Yeah.
Schultz, you can play now.
Yeah, Loveland may not truly come to fruition until next season, and as Joe already pointed out, they're pushing Caleb's, throwing attempts down. They're trying to run the football a little bit more. Now they may get some game scripts and get some matchups where Caleb is able to throw a little bit more. But yeah, I think with the Nico injury, I like the call too. I'm with you on that one. All right, we got all the questions handled here. Let's get into some of the biggest free agent pickups. I know we touched on some of them already. We've talked about Oronde Gadsden. We kind of dove into him pretty good. Tez Johnson, again, I like his talent. We added him in some spots the last couple weeks with the injuries. He's showing out. Made a big play 2 weeks ago. Another big play on that screen pass. I mean, this dude's legit. He's a good freaking player, and he's playing with Baker Mayfield. So this is a guy now with all these injuries, and we don't even know if Godwin's going to come back healthy ever. So Tez Johnson could really have a big-time role the rest of the year, even if Godwin comes back. So I like it. I like Tez Johnson. I would drop a pretty decent amount to go get him. Again, we're running out of time here. Alec Pierce is another one we talked about. I mean, Alec Pierce has kind of been showing out since his rookie year, even with Anthony Richardson catching bombs, beating, the top corner from the Texans, who made a hell of a play last night in the Monday night game against Darnold as well. But Alec Pierce, good player. Freaking Danny Dimes is getting great protection. Danny Dimes is not afraid to throw bombs down the field. So that's another guy I feel pretty damn good about it. Joe and I actually added him 2 weeks ago.
We did.
In our league. We dropped Hollywood Brown because we were looking ahead and figuring Pierce had a little bit more upside going forward, and that may come to fruition. So it didn't look great on the surface, but now it might be better.
My favorite part about that move is somebody went out and spent half of their fab on Hollywood Brown.
That was the Gills did that. The Gills did that.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
I told you that was going to happen. I was like, at least we were like, should we do this or not? And I was like, at the very least, somebody's going to drop all their money on Hollywood Brown. So, and
the Gills is like, the guy just had a legendary performance in fantasy baseball. He won like 4 out of 4 main events,
right.
Which is, that's. I don't think you could do that in football. I think you could, it's much more likely in baseball with the way the game is just so stat dependent. But still a hell of a freaking run. I mean, that's unbelievable. Xavier Legette, 6% owned. I mean, we touched on him a little bit. He's just so hard to predict. I've kind of liked him. He's just going to be so inconsistent, so I'm not going to go nuts there. But, Joe, what do you think about Bude? 32%.
Yes.
Now, this is 3 good games now. He disappeared after week 1, had a good game last week, another good game this week. Drake May's playing great.
Yes, Booty definitely, going into the season, he was outside of Diggs. He was the only wide receiver I was even considering. I did draft him in some spots. I ended up dropping him. And then, if he's available, definitely go out and get him. He's put together a couple of good games. Drake May is throwing the deep ball better than any other quarterback in the league right now, in my opinion. I don't know how factual that is, but
might be a little biased with the Patriots thing behind you, but I mean, to his credit, Drake May is playing. I'm glad I got a bunch of his rookie cards. I'm pretty happy about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a couple myself. He's put together a couple of consistent performances already. I mean, you have to live with a dud here and there. He is a boomer bust guy, but Drake May is starting to target him more and more. Stephon Diggs is not the big play guy he used to be. He's more of a catch the ball, get a first down type of deal, like a safety valve. Keyshawn Boutte is the big playmaker at wide receiver for the Patriots. So yeah, I like him as an ad, especially with the bye weeks coming up. And the Patriots have an incredibly easy schedule going forward.
Yeah, we got a lot of teams on bye this week. The Rams, the Lions, the Cardinals, the Jaguars, Seattle, and the Raiders. So this is the biggest bye week, I think, on the year so far. A lot of good names there. So, yeah, Boutte, good name to pick up for sure. We got a question here from Abreu68. It must be basketball season, NBA tipping off tonight, because he says Cleveland or Indiana D. Not Indianapolis, but Indiana Pacers D. Rockets and Thunder going at it right now. In the NBA. But who do you like there this week to stream there at defense, Joe?
Cleveland or the Colts? Was that the question?
Yeah, Colts get Cleveland gets New England, right? And the Colts get Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, not Pittsburgh, Tennessee.
Oh, it's definitely the Colts. Definitely the Colts.
Let me just double check.
Is that right? They got Tennessee? Are you sure?
Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% the Colts.
Yeah, 100%. Easy one. We got a super chat. Appreciate that. Skeeter, $4.99. I'll send Joe $1 after the show. How much fab? How much fab do I put on? YouTube takes 30% of it. So
you send me $1. I'm only how many times? I'm only going to put it towards the super chat when I'm listening to you guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. But appreciate the super chat there, man. How much fab do I put on Travis Hunter? I have 80 left. I mean, 71.
Yeah, I was going to say close to all of it.
Yeah, leave yourself some bucks, but. I mean, Thomas is hurt. He's been all kind of wonky all season long. Hunter really kind of showed what he could do last week. Getting a little bit more usage after Thomas was kind of banged up. It could be much more consistent going forward.
Even with Brian Thomas on the field, I kind of feel like Trevor Lawrence is got a better chemistry with Travis Hunter already. Like the Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas thing is tough to watch.
I mean, it's partly Lawrence, it's partly Thomas. I mean, Thomas is like dropping passes in traffic. They had a lot of miscommunications as well. I don't think he's fully healthy.
He's playing very skittish, and I think it has to do with the way Trevor Lawrence lays the ball out there in danger zones, hospital balls, right?
Yeah,
and I think it's really affected Brian Thomas big time. Like,
go ahead.
I was gonna say Mac Jones was, when Mac Jones zips it in there. Trevor Lawrence, when guys get open deep, one thing I notice about Trevor Lawrence is he hangs the ball in the air a little too long. Like he doesn't got enough zip on it, and I just think it's been a compound domino effect on Brian Thomas's mental game. I think it's in his head that, I'm gonna get smoked if I catch this ball.
And he's dropping passes he should catch too.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to do with the injury, a little bit skittish, like you said, and maybe he's a little bit pissed that Hunter and Lawrence are making commercials. How many times have we seen that commercial already? Oh my god. What else we got here? Abreu 68 says Worthy or Ferguson flex position.
Oof. Again, this is a matter of ceiling or floor. I guess I'm going to lean Ferguson because, well, it's tough.
Denver.
Dallas got Denver.
Yeah. Casey's got Washington. At home.
Oh, yeah. That's tough. I guess, yeah, maybe I'm leaning Worthy now you mentioned the matchup, but it really is a question of floor versus ceiling, in my opinion. Worthy being the ceiling and Ferguson being the floor.
All right, I agree. Sammy R says, would you drop Judy or Ridley for Tez? But, you got Taz.
For Taz.
Again, Traz and Taz. My only tight end are somewhat playable or wide receiver he meant.
Yeah.
Sutton, Pearsall, Neighbors, and Hill got hurt. I also traded away CMC for Henry. I have James Cook, Scatabo, Javonte Williams, and who's Moss?
Mason, maybe?
Oh,
Jordan Mason.
Okay.
Javonte, is that Javonte Williams, Scat, Cook? So the running backs look good. Even though you traded CMC,
I would drop either. I mean, who would you?
I would drop. It's tough. Ridley. I was talking about Ridley on my show earlier. He reminds me of Amari Cooper. Like he can show up and give you 7 for 130 and a touchdown or 2, and then disappear for 4 weeks.
Yeah, Cooper had a much better career though compared to Ridley.
But
not Ridley, Judy.
But end of career Cooper is what Calvin Ridley looks like right now.
Judy, you mean, right?
No, Ridley. But
Ridley. Okay.
But Judy's all his underlying metrics is his first read target share, his routes run, everything's top 10, but his production is just abysmal. So I'd like to say that opportunity is going to turn into points at some point, but the quarterback play isn't getting any better there. If it's not Dylan Gabriel, it's going to be Shador Sanders, and I'm not confident in either. I mean, I think I would drop Judy before I drop Ridley. It's close, but
yeah, I don't mind that either. They want to run the ball with Judkins. They got the tight ends.
Yeah.
The quarterback play is very, very. I mean, Cam Ward has not looked good. I thought he was playing better early in the year. The last couple of weeks, he's been really not good. But it should get a little bit better for him as the season goes on. Still better than those other two guys in Cleveland.
When Cleveland drafted Judkins and Fannin, I immediately was off of Judy. I was like, I'm done with Judy. Not even going to draft him.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it because Flacco was there, but you had to think that Flacco was going to disappear at some point, which he did. 3P1C Fail says, would you hold Bam Knight through the bye week? Backfield is still messy. Only upside is – yeah, I'd still hold him. Benson might not be back for another, month.
So. Is Brashad Smith available? No, depends on who's available, but yeah, I'd probably hold on to Bam Knight.
Happy days. Should I continue to shoot myself in the foot with Genti every week? I mean, this script was one of the worst he's going to get. It will get a little bit better for Genti. You just got to keep throwing him out there. They're on a bye this week, right? Yeah, they're on a bye this week.
Yes.
So, then they come back and they get Jacksonville. Not bad. Denver's not good. Dallas isn't terrible. Cleveland's not bad because the game script. Chargers isn't terrible. Denver again. Jesus. Philly, Houston. Wow, the schedule is terrible. If you could trade Genti at this point, it's probably smart, but I don't know. People are going to probably be keen to that. I know a lot of people have been talking about that as well. So would you pick up Tuz? I think Sammy's trolling us now. Taz. Would you pick up Tuz over Mims, Malik Washington? Yeah, I would go Tuz over all three of those guys.
Yeah. I was going to bring up Malik Washington when you were talking about specific waiver guys as a possibility.
Yeah, we're still getting through that, but
all right. I was going to say I got the news that Darren Waller is week to week.
Okay. So. Brashard Smith is available, by the way. So you cut Bam Knight for Brashard?
I would personally. I really do think Brashad Smith could be a league winner down the stretch.
Good. Yeah. Thinking about trading him as of tonight. Just not sure what to ask for. Need a quarterback, so I might offer Genti plus someone. If you need a quarterback, I would think just Genti would get it done. I mean, you should ask for something back too. Don't just don't give them away.
Single quarterback league, you can get a 2-for-1 for a guy like Genti. You could get a quarterback and maybe not a different running back or a wide receiver, but if it could be like a J.K. Dobbins maybe or like somebody like an RB2, not an RB1 profile.
Yeah, I would try to get two players for Genti there, and drop it in the comments. Let us know the trade offers. We'll answer you on that, and let you know what we think. All right, back to the players now. Joe, you want to talk about Malik Washington? This is a guy that I added like in a bunch of leagues like 3-4 weeks ago because I kind of thought like if Achane went down, he'd kind of get a lot more usage. But as a receiver, I mean, he just doesn't. His ADOT's low. He does not really break any big plays. So I don't know how excited I get about him anymore.
He kind of got nuked by Waller, right?
Yeah, true.
And now so he had 5 receptions for 30 yards. He had 8 targets with Waller leaving the game and not returning. Not really thrilled about it either. Not too excited about it, but deep leagues, deep benches, 14-team leagues, 16-team leagues. If he's available, I'm adding him. So
Okay. I mean, if Waller's out, that's not bad. Let's pay attention to Waller's injury. Let's talk.
Pete's in the chat.
Oh, what's up, Pete? Says, hey, Steve and Joey. What's up, Pete? Welcome to the show. Let us know if you have any questions. We'll help you out. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to talk about Dalton Schultz a little bit more. 19% owned. I mean, how consistent do you think he's going to be rest of the year here?
I mean, I like him. I think he's been like borderline number 2 target on this offense, and with Nico Collins got a concussion at least for next week, I'm playing him. I'm starting him in the tight end spot, and unless I have like Ty Warren or Trey McBride or something. Uh, nice. I'm jealous, Pete.
Nice little nappy. Yeah.
I was supposed to go play poker, and then Steve was like, "You want to come on the show?"
That's because Ernie was ready to go. Internet connection. I don't know what happened. Maybe a lightning storm. I told him to call Verizon and have him do a hard reset. I guess that didn't even work. So hopefully he's back next week. And Will too. Will's got computer problems too. So I told Will we start a GoFundMe to get him a new laptop if we needed to, but he hasn't responded yet. All right. What else we got here?
No,
Mason.
Schultz,
Yeah, Dalton Schultz. Are we still talking about? Or are we off him yet? Go ahead.
Well, I'm definitely starting him this week at tight end. If I don't have one of the elite tight ends, I like him going forward throughout the rest of the season too. I think he's been leaned on by C.J. Stroud. He's at least the third target on the team when Nico Collins is there, and some game scripts allow him to be this number 2 target. I haven't seen a rookie wide receiver step up yet. I think Jalen Noel has a better chance than Higgins, but and then who's the other guy they have? Why am I drawing a blank?
Higgins? Noel?
No.
Oh, Hutchinson.
Hutchinson.
Yeah.
He's not really a high volume guy either. He's a design. They design plays for him, but they're not going to hyper target him. So, I like Schultz going forward rest of the season as a low end, back end, low end, tight end 1 upside, but, solid tight end 2. Plug him in for bye weeks. We got, Trey McBride's on a bye this week. So if you have Schultz, I'd feel confident in starting him this week for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins against Miami, if he gets to start, that's not a bad streamer.
Laporta's on a bye week this week. Brock Bowers owners, even though they haven't had him. Or if you have Michael Mayer, if you've been leaning on Michael Mayer, he's off this week too. AJ Bonner's on bye week. If you picked him up and been using him, because if you need a tight end, Dalton Schultz is definitely the guy.
Yeah, 100%, especially with Nico out. I was just mentioning Cousins real quick because he could be a possible streamer at quarterback against Miami. That's a good one. He may be utilized a lot this week. Mac Jones or Purdy against Houston. I don't really feel great about. Would you use Purdy this week coming back against Houston? I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, probably not. I mean,
no. So Mac Jones, I think you could leave out there. I don't think you're chasing him. You could probably drop him at this point.
Let me toss a name out there. I want your thoughts on. How about Shamir DK?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of flashy. He's definitely got some talent. Might as well chase the upside at this point in the season. I'm not going to drop a shitload for him, but
no.
Yeah, I'd take a chance on him 100%. Chase some upside for sure.
I think with the coaching change and him getting involved, that makes me optimistic about it.
They've been kind of using him all year too, like on reverses and like screens too, so they kind of know what type of player he is. And then he caught that freaking bomb early on too, on like that deep cross. So I kind of like that. DK, kind of a little bit under the radar pick.
And I think if they use him more consistent as a deep threat, it'll help out Iomana as well, and Cam Ward for that matter.
Pete says Ernie's Wi-Fi was stolen by Dable. Yes. Yeah. By the way, I got Ernie to sign his Giants fandom away for the rest of his life. He can no longer be a Giants fan, so he can't root for Jackson Dart, Camp Scatterbo. He has officially given up on the Giants.
He
put Daniel Jones and the Colts. That's what he said.
He put out a banger of a post earlier about going off on Joe Shane. Maybe Joe Shane saw that and cut out his internet.
Yeah, him and Dable. Yeah, he hates Joe Shane like more than anything, I think. 31P1C fail says, what do we do with Jawan Jennings? So I failed at his name, and also he failed at Jawan's name as well. Go ahead. Hold him.
So this is a hard question for me because I don't ever draft Jawan Jennings. So
Well, I mean, it's only been 2
what do we
years of
do?
Jawan Jennings. It was last year and this year, really, right? So
he's one of those guys you don't know when to start.
yeah,
Like,
I think the problem with Jawan Jennings is he's playing at like with 16 injuries. Like if he was healthy, I think he'd be a little more productive. I just think he's so freaking banged up. I try to hold him if I could. You know, he's in a really good situation, and he's going to get Purdy. He's kind of his guy. You know, been his guy. Mac Jones kind of favored Kendrick Bourne a little bit more because he had that connection. So I'd hold him if you could. But
yeah, I guess.
if there's other guys to chase, you know, I mean, I don't hate it if you got a losing record, but it depends who's out there. Dustin Wells says, you guys leaning Monungai or Tez Johnson waiver pickup? How much fab for each? Thanks, fellas. Depends if you need a running back or receiver. I prefer Tez, though, rest of the year over Monungai in general.
I prefer Monungai rest of the year, but I like Tez for the next two, maybe 3 weeks, depending on when Godwin gets his ass in gear.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be out on Monungai. If he hits, he hits. I'm not chasing him, but that's just sometimes you just got to make
it. And like you said, do you need the running back depth? Do you do you need the wide receiver now? That's one of those type of deals. Context matters.
Oh yeah, context is key. That's right. That is right. Where is the freaking thing? I can't see it. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Another sleeper running back. Joe had the freaking talk about DK receiver. A guy that I've been kind of waiting for is Marshawn Lloyd. I think the practice window is now open for him. Emmanuel Wilson I think he stinks. So Marshawn Lloyd's, I liked him as a prospect. He just can't stay healthy at all. But if you could stash him on the IR, you could still get him for nothing. If he ever gets an opportunity, I mean, it's just going to be a great opportunity. Obviously, Jacobs has been very durable. A little bit banged up, though. You know, he almost missed last week. So, just something to keep your eye on there. Marshawn Lloyd. All right, let me get rid of this question here. And then we'll talk about a few more guys here. Joe Flacco, 11% owned. I mean, great week last week. But how much? I mean, another good matchup against the Jets this week, so you could definitely use him again this week. But going forward the rest of the year, I mean, we've seen this from Flacco time in and time out. He has like 3 or 4 good games, maybe 5 good games, or he has one good game, then he's terrible, another good game, then he's terrible. But, the Bengals aren't going to bench him. I mean, they're not going back to Jake Browning. And he's got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So this is the best receivers he's ever had in his career. So he may just be good the rest of the way, and the Bengals defense stinks for the most part, so they're going to have to throw a lot. So this Joe Flacco may really be a pretty damn solid quarterback the rest of the way. What do you think?
I like him rest of the way. I really like the back end of Cincinnati's schedule. I talk about that all the time. This is why I have a lot of I had a lot of Joe Burrows and I had a lot of Chase Browns in my drafts. You got the Jets, then you get Chicago at home. That's it's like a middle of the pack. Then week 11 against Pittsburgh, week 12 against the Patriots. That's a tough matchup. But then from week 13 on, you got Baltimore. Their defense has been awful. You got at Buffalo. That's a play catch up type of game. Garbage points that could actually turn into a shootout too. Week 15, Baltimore again. Week 16, Miami defense, and then week 17, Arizona. I mean, Arizona's defense has been playing better as of late. Actually, they've been pretty consistent throughout the year, but the team itself, I still consider that a plus matchup. I like this schedule, with the exception of that New England game, and possibly the Chicago game. It's all plus matchups.
Yeah. Baltimore twice. Those could be high-scoring affairs. Buffalo even could be a high-scoring game. Miami in the semis is nice, and then Arizona in the Super Bowl. You're right. I think Flacco, Ernie actually mentioned it 2 weeks ago. So shout out to him. I was kind of giving him a little bit of grief because I didn't think he was going to come out and start against the Packers right away, but they went with him, and he didn't look good like for the first half, but he played well down the stretch. He started a little slow last Thursday night, but just went off on a banger. So yeah, I think Flacco, just 11% owned right now in Yahoo leagues. If you need some quarterback depth, or if you need a starter with some buys this week, 100%. I used them in a few leagues last week with Josh Allen out, so I might hold him. We'll see. We'll see. I may hold him, to keep him away from the rest of the league. We talked about Mariota, JJ McCarthy, Carson Wentz. I mean, he's kind of showing his ugly head a little bit. Last week he was kind of skirting by. But, still decent for fantasy. But still, I think at some point they're going to go to McCarthy again. I liked McCarthy a lot coming to the year. He had 2 games. I think people were jumping on him a little bit too hard. He didn't have Addison in those first 2 games. Their offensive line was also banged up. Darisaw was missing in a couple of those games. So I feel like McCarthy now sitting out, getting a little bit more flow into the offense, getting some guys back healthy. I like McCarthy as like a potential pickup, still just 26% owned here the rest of the way. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they have to go back to him. Carson Wentz has looked terrible, and he does have, he is in a decent pretty good offense with, JJ and Jordan Addison. He's definitely worth a speculative ad. I'm not necessarily starting him right away, but I like him. I like him rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm with you too. Happy Day says, F it, I'm starting Flacco. We're with you. Happy Day says, start Flacco over Knicks.
I don't know if I would do that.
Pete, what do you think about that one, being a Denver fan?
Flacco's definitely got a good matchup, but Bo Nix.
Denver's playing Dallas this week.
That's what I'm saying.
Forget Dallas, about it. Yeah, gotta go with Knicks.
You gotta play. You gotta remember that if you're making redraft decisions, not DFS decisions, and when you're dealing with bye weeks, you want short points, in my opinion. And I think Bo Nix is you gotta go Bo Nix over Flacco. That's too big of a gap in rankings there.
Yeah, I mean, Flacco could be better. I mean, it is possible, but Knicks with the rushing floor, shootout potential, like just off the top, I would say that total is probably 48 at least in that game. What do you think it is? Did you look at it yet? Don't look at it. Let's guess it right now.
What is it? The Denver-Dallas game?
Yeah, I said 47, 48.
No, I'm gonna say 43.
43.
Yeah.
51.5.
Holy shit. It sounds like I'm betting the under then.
I'm betting the under. And the Jets Bengals is 44.5. Which is actually pretty high for a Jets game. Pete says, hard thinking about starting Joe Cook this week. Who the hell's Joe Cook? In a league, I have JD and Darnold not playing. Oh, Flacco.
Joe Flacco?
Yeah. Yeah, with you. Flacco has me rock solid. Knicks has me harder than when I picked up those red and blue pills at the 7-Eleven for going to see a chicks whose parents were gone for the weekend.
Pete,
all right.
You're sick? Fuck, you're in your 20s and you're buying those pills?
This is probably he was like 20 or 19, 20. I never tried any of those pills. I would always go the natural route. Horny goat weed or whatever. I tried that a couple times.
Some Spanish fly.
Yeah. Yeah. That might work the other way though.
Right.
Spencer Rattler, forget about it. Andy Dalton, are we considering him a little bit? If you're like putting him on like third on your priority list here, if he starts this week?
I don't know if I mean, if you got no other options, I guess
against
you'd
the
have to.
Bills. Yeah.
He's going to get the garbage points. Like I said, I don't think there's much of a fantasy difference, but the wide. I think if anything, the wide receivers might do a little bit better. So
Yeah. Tyrod, if he starts for Fields and a super flex, obviously I don't mind it. One quarterback, I'm not thinking about it. I think you could cut two at this point. Gino, why are you still holding him? Cam Ward, cut him too. We talked about Manungai in depth. We talked about Woody Marks. Trey Benson, 56% owned. He was cut a lot in high stakes. I snatched him up. I'm kind of stashing him. If he's getting cut or if he's still out there, definitely put him on your IR. Most leagues you have an IR spot and just wait it out for now. 100% if he's out there. Bashard Smith, we've talked about him at length, just 6% owned in Yahoo. I don't know why. So yeah, he's a monster pickup. He should have been picked up weeks ago and stashed and drafted and stashed. But if he's out there 100%, Kareem Hunt, you could just, kind of let him go. Pacheco, I would still hold. He's still going to get most of the goal line carries. Bam Knight, continue to hold him for now. Are you holding Michael Carter 41%? Probably just letting him go at this point.
Yeah, right? I think we're dumping him at this point.
Yeah, Isaiah Davis, not a bad stash, 5%. Again, I mentioned Marshall and Lloyd. Bashal Tootin got a little bit more usage this week, 41% owned. So if somebody dropped him, definitely pay attention to that. Maybe go snatch him up and stash him.
It's worth the stash.
Yeah, 100%.
Somebody you haven't mentioned yet, and if he's available, you need to go scoop him up, because if something happens to the starter, he's immediately becomes the RB1 of the top offense in the league, and I'm talking about DJ Giddens. Yeah,
DJ Giddens. Although they used another guy this week too. I was watching. I don't know who the hell it was. I was just watching the game. But yeah, DJ Giddens would be the number one guy there.
Yeah, DJ Giddens would be the starter, I think. But
yeah. But yeah, that's a good one, because the Colts offensive line right now, Jonathan Taylor's been great, but some of the holes are just been unbelievable. And they're protecting Danny Dimes, the protection he's getting. It's incredible. Their offensive line is playing at a very high level. So actually it was Amir Abdullah who came in and had 2 carries for 19 yards. Giddens wasn't even used last week. No, so I don't know why. Was it Giddens out? Was he hurt?
No, I don't know, but I think that Abdullah does what we know what Abdullah is. I think DJ Giddens is.
I'd rather have Giddens too. I'm just mentioning. I don't know why Giddens wouldn't play there.
Abdullah's there just, I don't know, maybe he just needed to eat a couple of carries while Jonathan Taylor sips some water. And they didn't want it to be, maybe it was, I don't know, garbage time. Could have been garbage time.
It could be a pass protection thing too. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I like that one either way.
Yes, Pete answered the question for us, but yeah, I was already waiting to say yes. I would definitely drop the Packers for the Falcons. The Packers got the Carolina Panthers the following week though, so that's something to consider. If
Packers get Pittsburgh, Atlanta's got a great matchup against Miami. Atlanta D's playing. I like Atlanta a little bit more. Carolina's nice. They get Philly, the Giants, Minnesota, Detroit, Chicago, Denver, Chicago, Baltimore. Atlanta gets Miami, New England, Indy, Carolina, New Orleans, Jets, Seattle, Tampa, Arizona, Rams. But yeah, for this week, I like Atlanta more as well. What else we got here? Pete says, good call, Joe. Pittman isn't sellable for less than a late first in Dynasty, right?
If you can get a late first, yeah. But yeah, no, I wouldn't sell him for a second. I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm with you there as well. I think he's at least worth the first.
He's got 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. Happy Days says, I really want to start Flacco. Go for it, man. If you want to start him, go for it. Why not?
Go what you got. Go with it. That's it, man.
Yeah. I hate both my QBs. I had Burrow. John B says,
listen, last week I didn't go with my gut, and you know what it led me to? It led me to starting Caleb Williams over Bo Nix on one team. So I didn't go with my gut. And that was
it was looking good. It was looking good for 3 quarters. It looked like the right move, right? And then Knicks went fucking ape shit in 1 quarter.
It was looking like I was doomed either way for 3 quarters.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I don't know. Caleb's like the prince with all the royalties, just fucking not doing much with it. John B says Marcus Mariota. Yeah, we talked about him earlier, John. He's played well. Now, that was one of Anthony's favorite quarterbacks, and he's playing good finally in this system. Like, he's looked the best he has, in a long ass time for Marcus Mariota. He's getting McLaurin and Debo back. Possibly the matchup isn't great, but I still think he could be fairly solid. So especially super flex, that's a no brainer.
Debo and McLaurin coming back. Did you mention that? I was just reading something.
Yeah, I did mention that. Yep. All right, let's get back to a couple more guys here for waivers. Continuing to hold Brian Robinson. CMC has been absolutely unbelievable. It's like he hasn't missed a beat. Ollie Gordon, you can cut. Forget about stashing him. Chris Rodriguez stinks. Devin Neal now with Kendry Miller. Kendry Miller, this guy cannot stay healthy. It's been brutal. For him, brutal, start to his career. So good news for Alvin Kamara, obviously. But Devin Neal, do you have any interest in possibly, stashing him? Doesn't look like Kamara's getting traded.
I wouldn't spend more than a couple of bucks on him.
Yeah, I'm with you there as well. All right, I think that's good for the running backs. Is there any running backs you think we missed that are potential good pickups here?
No. The only one that I was thinking of was Giddens, and I brought him up. So.
Okay. All right, receivers, we talked about most of them. Tez Johnson, we've talked about him. We like him a lot. If you missed earlier in the show, this guy has showed out talent-wise the past 2 weeks. The opportunity is going to be tremendous with Evans out and Godwin continuing to be out. When Godwin comes back, we'll see if McMillan comes back at some point. But right now, it's Ibuka and Tez. I think it's those two guys. K-Dot will take a step up. Bucky will come back. That will, hurt Tez maybe a little bit too. But Tez has showed out, and he's playing with a really good quarterback. So another one we talked about was Alec Pierce, just 9% owned. We like him a lot going forward. He's, showed out since his rookie season. Been very volatile. One good week. Then he misses like 3-4 good weeks, but this is the most consistent the Colts have been. Their passing game has been since he's been there. Reggie Wayne also touted this guy up a few years ago, talking about him as one of the more wide receivers in the league. Hall of Famer Reggie Wayne. We talked about Kayshon Boutte earlier as well. What?
Alec Pierce got a great matchup this week, too, against Tennessee. Kayshon Boutte just got behind that defense for a long bomb, too. So I'm expecting Alec Pierce to do the same. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yep. I like that. Kayshon Boutte we like as well. Getting a little more consistent back-to-back weeks. Darnell Mooney, if he's out there, you like it. Kirk Cousins, should be healthier. Last year, he was a little bit – I think that he was a little bit injured. Obviously, that probably affected him. Penix, we'll see if he goes this week. Penix is very up and down, but if Mooney's out there, it's still a decent option. Darius Slayton, what are we thinking about him if he comes back this week? Do we still like adding him? Just 18% on 18%.
I don't think I'm in on Slayton. I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me. We know what he is. His spike weeks have been long gone. I don't know.
But he's connected to Dart, so it's like, what's Dart going to do? Is it just going to be a lot of Wandale and Scat in the tight ends?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm with you though too.
I've never been a Slayton guy, so you're.
I like Slayton like his rookie year, and then he showed some flashes, but he's just never been consistent enough.
You're asking the wrong guy about Slayton.
I'm with you. I'm not going nuts. Are we dropping Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims to move on here?
I'm still holding on to Franklin, and I don't know It's like the Buffalo Bills out,
yeah.
except the Bills don't have a Sutton.
Yeah.
It's tough to predict, but I still, it was good to see Mims get a little bit more involved last week. But again, it was the game script that allowed it. They needed to score 30 points in the fourth quarter, so of course, naturally everybody was involved.
By the way, NBA opening night, we have a double overtime game, first game of the year. Rockets 117, Thunder 116 here. If you have any DFS lineups, you're definitely interested. I actually threw a DFS lineup for the second game. All right, DK, we just talked about. A.M. Manor, I mean, I'd rather have DK at this point. We'll see if A.M. Manor picks it up a little bit, but DK, I'd rather take a shot on him, just 2% owned. So, like Joe mentioned earlier, throw a couple bucks down, take a chance for the upside. I'm with it. How about Jalen Noel? We saw him get a little bit more usage. Christian Kirk has a hammy injury. Nico goes down with a concussion. I always thought Xavier Hutchinson stinks. Why haven't they used these rookies more? Higgins, I kind of like too, a little bit more than Noel, but Noel had a nice game. And Noel kind of fits that mold of what we're seeing in the NFL now between the St. Browns, the Ibukas, these sneaky slot receivers. So I'm a little bit intrigued here. What do you think about Noel?
For me, it's Noel over Higgins. I think that he gives you a better floor. He's more targets. Higgins has had his opportunity already. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
hasn't shown much.
He's not getting the targets either. I think Noel's going to get more targets. What about Hutchinson?
I don't like Hutchinson. I just think
again, it's a targets issue with him.
He's had a lot of opportunities too. Like even last year, he had a ton of opportunities and never really did anything with them.
Yeah, it's Noel. It's Noel for me out of those three.
Josh Reynolds, 1% owned if you're absolutely desperate. If Garrett Wilson's going to be out again, Malik Washington, Joe mentioned, pay attention to Darren Waller's injury. 50% owned. Yeah, he could get more usage. He could give you like what Wan'Dale Robinson did a lot last year, like 6-7 catches for like 40-50 yards. But still, that's good for PPR leagues. Washington receivers, I think you're just cutting all these guys if you chased them last week. McCaffrey, Jalen Lane. McCaffrey had a donut. Jalen Lane didn't do much. Chris Moore's 32-year-old receiver for journeyman. Forget about him. So if Debo and McLaurin are back, forget about these guys. Just let them go. Torrey Horton, another guy that I've kind of been stashing. I think I'm letting him go this week. I'm giving up on him. What do you think about that, Joe?
Yeah, as long as Cooper Kupp is there, Torrey Horton's probably not going to be a thing.
Luther Burden, 22% owned. Are you going to continue to hold him or,
No, I think it's Colston Loveland before Burden. And unfortunately, not unfortunately, but in the pecking order, it's Dunze and it's DJ Moore. It's the passing. I mentioned the Caleb Williams pass attempts issue. I think Ben Johnson really does want to keep him no more than 30. Starting to run the ball with the two running backs. Their defense is playing better week to week.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Jacoby Myers he basically said he's still open for a trade. So it's like he doesn't even want to be there. Missed last week. Did that have to do with maybe them moving him? We'll see. That would give an uptick to Jack Betch, a kid that I liked a lot. But the quarterback situation is horrendous there. I mean, they can't do anything. So, I still want to pay attention. He's moved over, baby Randy Moss and Dante Thornton. But I'm not going to go crazy. Maybe I'll take a little bit of a chance on him, but he's lower in my priority. Christian Watson, 11%, guy I've been stashing. So, if he's still out there in your league, he's going to be inconsistent, but he'll give you some big games down the stretch if he gets back on the field healthy in the next couple of weeks. Brandon Ayuk, 40%. You're stashing him in on your IR. He might not be back for another month though. Isaac Tesla, forget about it. I think we're letting him go if you're still stashing him. We've talked a lot about Gadsden. Earlier in the show, Kate Otten, we mentioned a little bit. Dalton Schultz, we went into extensively. What do you think about Theo Johnson? Caught a miracle touchdown last week, but just 18% owned here with Jackson Dart. Still no neighbors down the stretch.
I like him as a backup. You plug him in when you need him. If you got guys on a bye, he's all right. Who the Giants got? I think we talked about this already, right? The Giants have
Giants
this
get
week.
Philly at Philly.
Philly. Yeah, they got a tough matchup this week, but I mean, yeah, he's a backup tight end.
Yeah.
You play him
Yeah.
when you have to.
And the other guys get a little bit more involved too. Theo Bellinger, yeah.
Daniel Bellinger,
What do I call him? Theo Bellinger?
yeah.
Daniel Bellinger, yeah. Jawan Johnson actually had a rebound game here. So, Taysom Hill's there. But, I don't know. I still don't feel good about Jawan Johnson.
Nah, me either. It's the usage he was getting in the first 3 games is no longer. So it's a usage, when it comes to tight ends, it's a usage thing for me. That's kind of why I mentioned Theo Johnson being a backup. He's a tight end dependent tight end too. That's kind of how I view him.
Any interest in Noah Fant, 1% owned?
He's interesting for sure. With as long as he's the starting tight end.
Yeah, Gesicki's on the IR, so
yeah, it's worth an ad and a stash if you need a backup tight end. You only got one tight end.
Are you giving up? Have you given up on AJ Barner after last night? Very touchdown dependent.
Yeah, he wasn't a guy when he was the big waiver wire target. I didn't really spend up to get him. I mean, at the same time, I didn't need that many tight end. There are very few teams that I needed a tight end, but I didn't get into the bidding war to get him because I was worried about him long term because Torrey Horton, at that point, Torrey Horton was still score. Had games where he was scoring touchdowns. I knew Cooper Kupp would eventually come along as far as earning targets, and JSN just gobbling up everything. And then they like to run the ball. They're using both running backs. It's just that offense is a mess, and I just think the tight end is inconsistent based on their offensive scheme.
By the way, Seattle, it's Kenny Walker's birthday yesterday, and you still take the guy out twice on the goal line and give Zach Charbonnet the freaking touchdowns. It's so freaking frustrating. Kenny Walker's getting like 19-yard runs. They're taking him out the next play. It's just like the usage is frustrating. I really do think they're trying to save him for the end of the year, but I don't know. Maybe it might be like this all year. How about Pat Freiermuth? 7% owned, monster game last week. He's probably the most talented tight end in the room. I mean, Jonu's talented too. Darnell has his own things, but obviously as a receiver, he doesn't come close to these two guys. Do you think it was just a 1 week, thing? It's just going to be very, very inconsistent the rest of the way, or do you think they kind of found something here with Freiermuth? I mean, best tight end performance by far of any of these tight ends, 110 yards. This may be a thing where Rodgers is like, get Freiermuth more playing time.
He's worth a stash for sure. I do agree with that last statement you just made, Steve. I think Aaron Rodgers may make a case for him to get some more targets, and he is even as good as Jonnu is, as talented as Jonnu is, I should say. I think Freiermuth is the best pass catching tight end on this team. His athleticism is off the charts. Our guy Joey Brown is in on him. I know he's going after him in the waivers this week, just to stash him as well. If you got room to stash, definitely that's a good one. We hadn't talked about him yet.
I like the upside of him too. Again, we don't know what Arthur Smith's going to do week to week, but if Aaron Rodgers has any say, he may bump him up a little bit. And Freiermuth, I think, this guy has like some of the best hands. Like he rarely ever drops the ball. Isaiah Likely, is there a possible Andrews trade? I don't know. Maybe. But still a guy you want to pay attention to. Just 7% owned. But if Andrews is out there, he's going to be hard to do anything. But still a guy, if you want to take a chance on, not terrible. All right. Let's talk about some kickers, I guess, this week. I forget about kickers.
There's a wide receiver. I'm not sure if you mentioned. I didn't cross him off, so I'm just going to throw out before we move on.
Go ahead.
Parker Washington.
Parker Washington. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
He had 10 targets last week. He had 11 targets in week 3. The other 4 weeks, he's had 5 or less targets, but he does have 1 touchdown in those games. He got us to 10 points twice with Brian. They're on bye this week, so you could probably get him cheap, and then see how the Brian Thomas injury plays out over the next couple of weeks. I anticipate him being fine.
Maybe anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Thomas is out off the bye, I think Parker Washington's a nice little play. And also their tight ends out too. So, that probably helps Parker Washington a little bit more too as well.
He actually got 3 carries too for 10 yards.
He's always been a good player. Like, he's solid. It's just like he never really gets fully featured. But, yeah, not a bad little stash there, especially if Thomas is going to be out. That's a good mention there. All right, couple defenses we talked about. By the way, check Hoff's kicker video just dropped. Check Pete's defensive video just dropped recently as well. Bills defense, not a terrible one against Carolina. Coming off their bye, McDermott's probably gonna want to get a little bit bounce back after they looked terrible the past couple of weeks. What do you think about streaming them this week against Carolina?
Yeah, I guess. There's better options out there, in my opinion. But
the Colts, right?
That's a big one. The Colts are a great one. Falcons are another one if they're available. I don't think the Patriots will be available, but I like their matchup this week.
Patriots should not be available at this point.
Yeah.
They could be, though. You never know. But
defenses is weird. Sometimes you find gems. That's of any position. That's the one you're going to find. Top 5, top 10s on the free agent list because people stream defenses, and sometimes they drop them because they don't want to drop a position player that they like. They have deep benches. Or short benches, I should say.
Chiefs defense, if you used them last week against the Raiders, they're not a terrible one again against Washington.
And looking ahead to week 9, I mentioned it earlier. Green Bay has Carolina as a matchup, and now Green Bay, as far as the fantasy defense,
use Green Bay this week too. I don't totally hate it.
They're like 18th or 19th in fantasy defense scoring. They're a better NFL defense than they are fantasy defense. But next week, that's why I mention it, because they could be on the free agent list. If you have the room to pick them up for a couple of bucks instead of next week. Now, next week, people are going to see, if they're on the free agent list, they're going to see they're playing Carolina, and then you're going to probably have to spend, a few more bucks on them. Because
how many points did Green Bay's defense have last week against Arizona?
Let me check it out right now. Real quick.
And I know Parsons had 3 sacks, so he got going. You could see him getting juiced up for this game too. It's going to be a Sunday night game in Pittsburgh, so Parsons will probably be out and ready, trying to take down Rodgers. All right.
Green Bay last week, they had 9 points. They had 6 sacks, 1 fumble recovery.
That's good. You take that from your defense.
Yeah.
Another one I don't totally hate is Baltimore against Chicago. Like, if it comes down to it, I feel like if Baltimore gets their guys back, they could have a decent game. I just feel like Baltimore it's like their Super Bowl this week. So I'm going to probably be betting Baltimore this week. Inclusive Evo says, drop Henderson for someone like Monungai. I have Swift. Also, is sitting Lamb for Sutton or Tet make me crazy? I would never sit Lamb.
No.
I know the matchup isn't the best against Denver, but still.
How are you? I want to know how you're not starting Sutton. In general, who else you got other than Lamb? Friggin' Chase.
Yeah, right. You got a nice little luxury there. Are you dropping Henderson for Monungai? I'm not doing it, but
no,
he is the Swift owner. I'm still not.
If he's the Swift owner, I think so. He said he had a great draft.
The Smitty says start Brees Hall or Rashad White. Bucky probably going to be out one more week.
Yeah, I think I lean Rashad White. Let me check the matchups again real quick.
Tampa's on a bye next week, so yeah, I mean they're playing New Orleans. It probably makes sense to leave Bucky out one more week in a matchup they should win, and then bring him back week 10, which sucks if you're a freaking Bucky owner. But
Cincinnati, the Jets got Cincinnati though. Cincinnati's fucking gives up the run. They suck against the running game, so it's probably even Stevens there. The flip a coin for that. I'm thinking. I mean,
it's a good game script for Rashad White. You know, he should fall into the end zone at least once or twice.
Yeah.
Right?
Rashad White definitely has the better chance of getting a touchdown. I will say that.
Yeah. He says he has Lamb, Rice, Abuka, Tet, and Sutton. All drafted. I went heavy wide receiver in this league. Loves running backs. Yeah, well, Rice was a good pick by you. Good gamble there, man. You waited it out, and you're in good position.
And DeAndre Swift was an excellent 0 RB target.
Yeah, well, we'll see. He did, again, Swift usually has like 3 or 4 really good games, and then he doesn't do much. But they got Ben Johnson now, and their offensive line is definitely blocking better. So
I'm gonna say
and they're utilizing him in the pass game consistently too. So
that Henderson for Monungai, I think I do that. If I'm a Swift owner.
I don't hate it. Ideally, I would like to hold Henderson, but I don't hate it.
It ties into with my 2 running back Chicago theory going forward. I think I lean that way.
All right, that's it, man. We got through all the questions. An hour 46. We were under 2 hours, which is good. If you guys got any questions in the next couple minutes or seconds, we'll get to it real quick. If not, we'll end the show there. I think we've covered pretty much everything you could possibly cover for Fab this week. So good luck on the bidding. If your bids are tomorrow, you got a good prep. Hit us with a comment below on anything you want. Hit us with a like, subscribe. Got plenty of content coming your way on the Face Off Sports Network all week and the rest of the year. He says, thank you guys for the hard work and info. Always appreciate it. Thank you, man, for joining us. Joe, anything else before we get out of here?
No, I just appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate you having me come on and fill in. I love doing these shows, man. Have a good time with you.
Yeah, you did a great
especially
job.
On Face Off. I tend to the motivation factor goes way up, especially when you mentioned Anthony in the beginning. That's like laser focus immediately. Here to bring the people info and do the best I can to make that man proud up there in heaven.
Yeah. Same here, man. Well said. All right, guys. Like, subscribe, share. Come back all year. Take care. Have a good rest of the week and a great weekend. Enjoy the games. All the best.